we might be able to do like something spoiler free or something, or at least first impressions if we want to. But I'm also just like really good to I don't know what Drado's Discord just notified me of. But it
Oh, I clicked something. I don't know what I clicked. My bad. Ignore that.
First
So
of
whatever
all-
that was. Whatever that was, ignore that.
I'm like,
I was like, am I taking too long?
Drano just went
what's
live. Just kidding. I don't know what the
I was like,
notification
am I taking too long to answer? Did I just
I
get
don't
buzzed?
even know what I clicked.
Love that, bro.
It's time. We are finally here. It's been a long time in the making. But we have arrived, y'all. We are here with Hard Mode Selected.
I wish we had
Yeah.
just a button, that button for applause.
The air horn.
What's good, everybody? What's good, everyone? I go by the name of Drado, and I'm here with two wonderful friends of mine who will introduce themselves.
What's going on, everybody? I'm SkipperFen. I'm SkipperFen. Welcome to Hard Mode Selected for sure.
Yes, and I am PHILSpecialMeter, and we are very, very happy to be a part of your day, whatever you're doing. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're doing laundry, maybe you're getting shit done on your checklist, or maybe you're just vibing. And we really appreciate your allowing us to come into your home for a little bit and just keep you company in a non-weird way.
Absolutely. Welcome in, and we got some great content for you guys today, and hopefully you stick around and enjoy.
The time codes will be below or in the description, however you're getting this, Spotify, YouTube, whatever you're doing right now. And you can jump around from topic to topic, but we go all over the place. We talk about healthcare, we talk about video games, and we talk about driving tests. We talk about food and anime and all sorts of stuff. And some of it will tie back into gaming because we are hard mode gamers, but we just go for it, and we hope you have a good time.
Drado, is that like a Spider-Man like shadow light on the back? That is so dope.
Spidey signal.
That's pretty cool.
Appreciate it. Yeah. I eventually want to put a curtain back there so that way it can not have the blinds and just have like a full light. But yeah,
That's a good look.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate that. I bought it off Etsy. This guy creates lights with characters and symbols on it, and he had a Spider-Man one.
Okay.
So. And I like shopping on Etsy. Etsy is a good place to get like customized stuff.
Yeah, Etsy. I think they're dope. I tend to get stuff from my stream from them as well.
Mm-hmm. I bought a Kingdom Hearts, 2 Kingdom Hearts hoodies from off of there, where this girl, she actually handmade them. Like she handmade the sweaters and stitched them up with the Kingdom Heart designs on them. Yeah. It turned out really good.
Yeah, the last thing that I probably got from them and had it shipped was my bosses, who were a couple, invited me and another coworker out to go and see Hamilton.
Okay.
And I ended up getting like a gift bag for all of them, which I got like a keychain that had the date of the show on it, and like a nice cool Hamilton hoodie for a couple of them. I thought it was really cool.
Dope.
But Etsy, you can tend to be able to find anything.
No, Etsy is clutch.
Etsy. It's
Even
crazy.
for Drado Kid's last birthday, we bought custom shirts for his birthday for each of the family members.
Okay.
And it was a good deal on them too. And they all turned out really dope, because I can look on Amazon for stuff and sometimes see things, but sometimes it just be like not enough options. It's like you gotta kind of pick what they give you out of the 4 or 5 choices, whereas Etsy you can kind of talk to the creator and customize it to your liking. So I like that aspect of it.
That's what's
No,
up.
It's
that
really, really
is
dope.
that really is dope.
Hmm.
I kind of I what I like about Amazon is just the most of the time the dependability. Just like, all right, I know when it's going to arrive. I know
Hmm.
if something gets fucked up here, they're going to take care of me. But you're right, it does limit you. And then what ends up happening is I go online and I look at a bunch of, I just search for the type of thing I'm looking for, and then I see a bunch of stores and I'm like, okay, this sounds like some shit I've never heard of. Fuck that. This place seems
Hmm.
sketch. This seems
Yep,
legit.
yep.
There's enough, it's just it's like it's a hunt every time. So maybe I should. I didn't have the best first experience with Etsy. I think that's what drew me
Okay,
away.
okay.
So like
I
I had
was
like a custom a Nightwing mask made for cosplay, and it didn't
uh-huh.
fit. It didn't fit my face, and I tried to get it like returned or just like traded up. It just did not work out. It did not happen. I was stuck with
Okay.
this mask. I ended up putting it on my mantle at one point, but yeah, I was just like, yeah. But I hear amazing things about Etsy, so I do wanna give it another shot.
And that sucks that it was your
Great.
first experience. That's
Yeah,
that's the
that's
worst,
messed
because it's like,
up.
because I want to sell it, but it's like, man, they messed up his first experience. Damn it. But
No.
I always, even with Amazon and Etsy, I always look at those reviews, and I
Views,
need to
yeah.
see
Yeah.
more than 100 reviews on that page. If it's not more than 100 reviews, I don't trust you, bro. I'm sorry.
No, don't be the
I
guinea
Really?
pig.
I need to see that other people are buying from you in order for me to trust you. That's just how my mind has always worked.
No, it's a good practice. Hell no, CVS. How are you gonna? CVS has the nerve to be like a prescription that I put in last week, like Monday or Tuesday or some shit. They're like, it'll probably be ready Wednesday, and they're like, psych, it's gonna be ready Sunday, and then now. A day later, they have the nerve to be like, "You have 4 days left to pick up your prescription." I'm like,
Huh?
motherfucker.
The audacity,
Right.
like, well, okay.
You gonna rush me now? Wow.
CVS, we about to have words.
Impatient. I thought you was gonna get that message, be like, we're out of stock, and it won't be in stock until like a month later or something.
No,
Like,
that
well,
would be worse. That would be worse.
that's
Yeah.
insane.
Now I was just talking about this with my older brother not too long ago. Just the idea that like whenever you have like I mean, full disclosure, I have narcolepsy, so this is like the medicine that keeps me awake. And like whenever you have a control substance as one of your medications, it's just like the hugest pain in the ass, because they're like, I tried to, like, I was like, can I get this delivered? No, it's a control substance. I'm like, fair enough. So I'm gonna have to go pick it up, and then also they can't just tell you when it's in stock or if it's in stock when you call. Like if you're like, hey, I just want to make sure before I send the script here that you guys have this. They can't do that because that makes them a target for theft and shit. So it's just like they can't go around telling people, yeah, we got the good shit over here. So it's just
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So getting it refilled, sometimes you just go on a prayer, right? You're just like, this is my usual pharmacy. They're usually pretty good. Send it there, doc. And then they send it in, and they're real shady about like when it's going to be ready. Like if I order something like I don't know, like prescription Tylenol, we'll throw that out there.
Yeah.
Tylenol doesn't do shit for me, by the way, but it's prescription Tylenol. And like if that is what I'm putting in, like same day they're like, yeah, come get this, like it's ready, like we're good. But like, yeah, something a bit more on the controlled substance list, they're just like, we will notify you when it is ready. We estimate it might be ready by such and such date. And I'm just like, okay, thank you.
You get it when I say you get it, basically is what they're saying.
Ray had a good recommendation, being a good big brother. He was like, you could also just try like the pharmacy at the hospital you go to. So because they have to have like all the stuffs. So I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah. Unless they're out of stock, then they won't tell you they're out of stock. But
we're gonna have to order this from another hospital. It'll take about anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks. It's not important, is it? It's not life saving.
Man.
American healthcare is funny because it's sad.
I'm
Really,
see
really tough.
the whole thing about healthcare for me is just the cost and the prices of all the stuff. And it's kind of, and I know I need it. It's important. I know I need to get physicals monthly or routinely or whatever, but it'd be really tough for me because every time, and this happened last time I went, every time I go to the doctor, there's always something wrong that they see that I'm not feeling at that time. So it's like, for example, somebody said, they said something about my knee and that I may have to get surgery on it because of whatever happened in my, my I guess genetically what happened to my parents or whatever. And they said it'll pass down to me. So they're like trying to get me to like plan a future surgery for my knee, and I'm not feeling nothing. And I'm like, bro, I'm okay. I don't want nothing done to my body at all. I'm okay. I'm not feeling no pain. I'm good.
What medical facility was this? Can we put them on? No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna put them on blast.
The same thing happened to my mom. My mom was dealing with she's recently had back surgery, and they were telling her that she needs to take this medication to get rid of the pain, but she kept telling them, I'm not feeling no pain, so I'm not taking this medication. But they still kept trying to sell her this medication, like you have to, but she wasn't feeling nothing. She was fine. So I don't know. I just feel like they be forcing you and pushing stuff on you that you don't even need just to make a buck or two. It's
mortifying.
It's a business. I get it, but at the same time, it's nasty.
That's crazy.
It's really nasty.
Frustrating for me to hear because as a person with chronic illness, it's the opposite. I'm like, hey, can you please give me this medication? They're like, I don't know if you need that. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know if I need it? I have like a medical record that goes back like over 10 years of needing that. And they're like, yeah, we'll see. Maybe, you're in, I'll be in like severe pain. And they'll just be like, so you can have this Tylenol. Tylenol has never done anything for me. It just doesn't work. Ibuprofen does a little something. Like Tylenol just, you might as well be giving me the sugar pill or whatever, the placebo. So I'm just vitamin. And they're like, well, this is standard practice for for treatment here. And I'm like, but did you read my chart? Like, did you look? Do you know what my disease does? Do you treat cancer patients this way? Like, what is wrong with you?
Right.
Like, it's just mind-boggling. So to hear the other side of it, where they're just like pushing drugs on people and saying you need surgeries that you clearly don't.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's hard to trust healthcare professionals, and especially obviously looking into Black history, it makes it twice as hard to trust health professionals, just because historically that racism has seeped in. And some people can say like, well, that's in your head, or that was in the past. And I'm like, no, I still see it. Like as a sickle cell patient, like the amount of times people are just like, he just wants the pain drugs. Just get him out of here. The amount of times I've literally endured that, and they're like, well, you don't seem that bad. And it's like, well, I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs because I've had this my whole life.
Me how I'm feeling.
Right?
How are you going to tell me I'm not experiencing pain right now? Like,
I literally had a doctor that, like, the ER is always roulette. Like, you get who you get. And then I finally got admitted.
ER so much.
ER is terrible. I understand. I empathize with the fact that like a lot of shit's going on. You got gunshot wound over here. Somebody else fell off the roof. This person has cancer. This person's like choking on something, and you got to prioritize somehow and allocate staff properly. And it's a hard thing. I'm not gonna
hours there. Oh my god,
it is bad. But what I don't appreciate is when I do get assigned a medical professional in the ER, and they clearly don't know how to handle my case, like whatever I'm dealing with, and it's like, okay, can you just say you don't know? And then go consult with somebody who does, or do some research real quick. Like they just seem so arrogant. Yeah, so arrogant. They just refuse. They're just like, nah, I'm the doctor here. Like, I'll tell you how this is gonna go. And I'm like, but you're not the one experiencing the thing. So we gotta work together. And they just don't listen.
Right.
But yeah, to wrap up my story, there was this time I went from the ER to being admitted overnight. And this was years ago, back when I was going to the DMC, and the DMC is usually pretty good. I'm not going to name specific hospitals, but they're usually pretty good. Detroit has great medical care, but for whatever reason, they're off their game this time. I got admitted, and overnight, like, you know, all the way into the AM, I had this doctor who just didn't come see me and didn't want to prescribe any pain medicine, which, if you've ever, you know, researched sickle cell anemia, the pain episodes are excruciating. You know, I've talked to women who have had sickle cell and given childbirth, and they're like, the sickle cell pain crisis is much worse. So it's one of those things where, like, the doctor didn't want to give me any pain medicine because, like, no narcotics or whatever, and then the nurse is just like, feels horrible because she can see the condition I'm in. I'm like literally clutching my leg in bed the whole time. And then, he finally caves and gives me some pain medicine. Then I get transferred to like the ICU, and I get a worse doctor. And she comes in, she looks at me. They're finally giving me pain medicines. I'm drowsy because pain medicine does that. And she's like, well, if you can sleep, then you can go home. I'm like, what kind of, like, in what world? In what universe?
Wait, what? That's your advice?
Like, I'm not gonna have you here just so you can sleep. So, like, if you can sleep, you can go home. You're not in pain. I'm like, I argue with her, and it's hard. You know, you're sick, you're medicated, you're trying to advocate. Yeah, you're trying to advocate for yourself. And this woman's just like, whatever. And then literally I fell asleep, which is a huge relief, because when you're in that level of pain, like, to be able to rest is a big thing. Yeah. And I literally woke up and I was discharged. It's the only time I've ever had that happen. You have to sign discharge papers. Like, typically you got to be like, all right, we're discharging you. Here are the discharge instructions. Sign here. She had somehow discharged me. I had to call Ray up and just be like, hey, can you come get me from the hospital? Because apparently I've been kicked out.
While Phil was asleep, they grabbed his head and was like, sign this. While he's asleep, he wake up discharged.
And again, she was a white female doctor, and I'm just like, I sense a hint of like, oh, this 20-something black guy just wants the drugs, you know, in Detroit. It's
unfortunate.
So
my experience is at ERs, and it's only because we had to take Drado Kid there a lot, because he's prone to having febrile seizures, because whenever his temperature spikes over 100, he's prone to get a febrile seizure, which can last maybe from a minute to maybe like 3 minutes. And if it goes beyond that, then we got to take him to the emergency room, which we've had to do before. And the last time we took him, we didn't take him to Detroit this time. We took him to Ann Arbor, and that was a mistake. And the only reason why that was a mistake was because not only were we there for a very, very long time, they were moving really, really slow. So it took us a while for him to even get a room. So we sitting here, because when he has seizures and he comes out of it, he's passed out. He either, goes to sleep, or he's just really, really drowsy. Yeah. And I'm holding him. His body's weak. I'm distraught and panicking because my son is, he's not feeling well, clearly. So they're like moving really slow. I'm like, can somebody help him? Anybody? I mean, y'all sitting here at the desk. Where is a doctor? So if somebody finally comes, we go there. They prescribe him some type of Motrin or Tylenol or something to help with his fever to go down. But then that's pretty much all they do, is give him either Motrin or Tylenol. And the lady, or not the lady, the nurse that I spoke to was like, yeah, there isn't really anything we can do other than prescribe this to him. And I'm like,
this isn't our first time doing this. Why wasn't this
Yeah.
said to us last time?
Right.
Like he's been here or been in a situation multiple times. It's like they have his chart and everything. His history of this
Yes.
is written, and it could have saved us not only a trip. We actually called an ambulance because I didn't have time to get my car ready and stuff. So we had to take an ambulance there, which that cost. And then on top of that, we get there and all we needed to do was get some over-the-counter drugs. Like that part of it kind of pissed me off because we could have literally, been told that before and been prepared. This time, no, they prepared us with the information we needed. So they told us, give him this if this happens. If it lasts longer than this, call, the emergency room if you have to. But lay him on his side, let him get through it, and just keep his temperature down, keep him cool, etc. Nobody told us anything last time. And I'm like, bro, this could have been prevented. This could have been avoided. We could have saved so much money, etc. I don't know, but it was just like a terrible experience. It was a terrible experience.
That is horrible. No, it's the inconsistency in care. And it's just like, I don't know. I know people are different and whatever, and doctors and nurses and shit are just people, but like, I just don't understand how like certain things aren't more standardized, like just enforced as rules if you're going to have a medical facility. One thing, check their motherfucking chart. I hate that shit. Like I hate having to fight uphill while I'm in pain or somebody I care about's in pain, and it's like I have to fight uphill and be like, no, this is a documented condition, and literally, like, if you think I'm bullshitting, like, what pisses me off the most is you could see it under a microscope. Just take my blood, put my blood under a slide, see if my blood looks like anyone else's blood, and then come back to me. I'm just like, there's like the information is there. You're just being a fucking jackass. And I can't rock with that. Like I literally, from that last story, and I'm sorry you went through that, Dre. That's terrible. I'm sorry your family went through that.
That's sad.
That shouldn't be, especially with a child's life.
With a child, he was one at the time, a 1-year-old. It's like get in touch with his primary doctor. Like he's literally been in and out of the doctors and hospitals since he was born, because he was born premature. So he's dealt with health issues all his life. You should be able to have this information on hand, essentially. And then on top of that, I had to pay for parking, bro. Like what the fuck? Why am I paying for parking? I had the valet come up to me, was like, yeah, I'll take your car, expecting payment. I'm like, bro, I just wanted to park and find some help. That's all I wanted to do. That's all I wanted to do, bro. Never again am I going to Ann Arbor. Never again.
No, man, I don't blame you. It's really scary because I know I've told you guys stories like, before, but like just leaving the DMC, even though I had that one bad experience, leaving the DMC is terrifying. Like I'm in California. For a while, my older brother was in North Carolina, and we had a friend of ours who was still in, I believe, I think like Florida, and like we were all having this. We were all like at some point living in Detroit. We all moved to these other places and immediately started having complications with our ongoing health issues, like just treatment that we were not receiving, and being put through these hoops and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, again, how is this not standardized? Like, you have a medical history, like just do the research, just do the work, and meet the patient where they're at. I mean, it blows my mind. And like from that last story I told you guys about the pain I was in, it was in my leg. So like the whole night I had been clutching my leg because the first doctor didn't want to give me pain meds. Then the know-it-all who had me in the ICU, who discharged me, was like, "You're fine. You can sleep. You're fine." And then I got home and I couldn't lift my my left foot. I had foot drop, which is essentially nerve damage, because my leg was pinched in that position for so long. It just cut off like the signal to the nerve. And they're like, literally, when I found out that happened, they're like, we will send you to physical therapy. Sometimes people recover from this, sometimes they don't. As an actor and an athlete, that was fucking terrifying. I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, you know, It would just so much limit the, my options for the passions I have and just the way I want to live my life. And it's just like all of that could have been avoided. All of that could have been avoided.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's wild out here. So yeah, care is really inconsistent, and you can't. It's sad, but you have to really be diligent and not just trust what the medical professional in front of you says, because they may be some sort of expert, but they may also just not be well versed in whatever it is you're dealing with. And I've definitely had surgeries recommended that later I found out probably didn't need that. And like it's scary to me that they're like talking to you, Drano, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna need this down the line.
Right,
like,
bro.
I'm fine.
I'm okay. Now, Phil, because you went through what you went through and you're literally telling them how you're feeling, like the pain you're in, what would you suggest is the best, like, I guess, method to getting them to like listen or give you like what you need? Like, what did you do in that situation?
So when I find, that situation, all the cards were stacked against me, and I was on my own. I believe my older brother was who was my roommate at the time. He was taking our mom back to the airport. She was going back to North Carolina, and so it's just one of those things where I was in the hospital. I was on my own, and it's hard. It's really hard to be in the crisis and also have to think critically about, I gotta watch my own back. So in those situations, what I found out from previous and future experiences is that one of the best things you can do is reach out to the patient advocate, or sometimes patient experience is what they will call it. And like their whole department is dedicated to just making sure, more so just so the hospital doesn't get sued. Their job is to make sure you get the care you're supposed to get, because they're like, yeah, we don't need you coming back here and suing us for several thousands of dollars, if not more. So now the tricky thing with the patient advocate or patient experience team is that they work for the hospital, so they're going to try and cover the hospital's ass. So it's not the best, but my biggest advice is, if you can, if you're able to call someone to come be there with you, like just having a second pair of eyes that's clear-headed and is healthy, just makes a huge difference, because it's hard to advocate for yourself. So just, again, whatever you're up against, if you can get like a personal contact in there, great. If you can get a personal contact that has medical experience, like if you know some doctors and nurses in your squad, absolutely. And when in doubt, call the patient advocate and like talk to them, or the social worker that they have on deck, because at least then, it starts to get documented, and you're a little bit more protected that way. And some of them are good at their jobs, and some of them aren't. So that's kind of my advice.
No, that's great advice for sure. And I'm thankful for insurance. I couldn't even imagine my life right now if I didn't have insurance. So yeah, especially with a kid who, deals with a lot of that. Random tangent. Has anyone ever seen The Good Nurse on Netflix?
No, I've heard good things, but no.
So because you said it reminded me when you said hospitals hate to get sued or don't want to be in that position. Where in this situation, that show basically is about a nurse that is going around killing patients by injecting stuff into their IVs.
Oh hell no.
And he does this and gets away with it from each hospital that he works at. And the only reason why he never gets caught is because these hospitals are not they're not putting that, they're not getting him arrested because they don't want to get sued. So they're just firing him instead. So he's getting, he's getting discharged from these hospitals, but still able to work because nobody's arrested this guy.
That sounds too real.
Insane. Wow. It's insane. It's insane. But that's what that made me think of.
Two things real quick. One, I want to take time to point out that obviously there are lots of good medical professionals out there. I've had many life-saving and life-changing doctors, nurses. Shout out to Skip, you gonna get my family to get this kind of, you're gonna get this whole thing canceled before it even really starts. I'll have family members petitioning against me, like, you know what I mean, like nurses and shit in my family. No, I mean it really is, especially with nurses. I want to say that, like, as somebody with chronic illness, like, it makes a huge difference what type of nurse you have, because if you have a good nurse, that can, like, really come to the rescue, make your experience all that much better.
Listen to you.
Yeah, advocate for you. Even the nurse in that story I was telling, like, she was trying to get me my pain meds. Like, you know, it's a good nurse is such a blessing, but a bad nurse goes all the way the other direction, where it's just like, now my experience is hell. I can't get what I need. I'm fighting all the time to get whatever. Sometimes they just don't answer when I call. Like, it's bad. So there are good healthcare professionals out there that I want to absolutely salute and shout out to, because y'all are, you know, like, that's in, like, healthcare professionals, teachers, you know, EMTs, firefighters, like, to me, unquestionable. When you're doing the thing right, it's unquestionable that they are heroes, right? You know, and and I just really want to share that love. So that is definitely one thing. But also I with all of this, you know, like, it really is roulette, and you just don't know what you're gonna get. I also wanted to say, that's the real thing I wanted to say. I said advice earlier, don't sue me. So, like, that was my suggestion for how to handle. That's my anecdotal experience of how to handle such situations. Do with it what you will. I'm not your dad. Yeah. Don't listen to me if you know, just don't. But also, if it can help you, great. that's all I wanted to say.
All those legal actions, it's so unfortunate how muddy those waters are when it comes to having all of the funds in order to be able to take care of yourself. And it's so frustrating. But shout out to all of those healthcare professionals who have to spring into action always.
Yes.
I mean, us being millennials, we've seen many a natural disaster, many a terrorist attack, and having to watch in front of the whole nation, a whole country have to spring into action.
It's true.
I mean, it just in 2019 and 2020 and 2001, and like a lot of situations we've seen over the years. It sucks that those people then have bills in order to have their lives saved, or, you know what I mean? Like,
that's
for-profit healthcare. You know, it's just part of it's a linchpin of a capitalist system. I will not go on too much of a tirade, but it's just like, when everything that you are comes down to, like, how much money you can generate, like, when everything you are is reduced to how productive you can be for whatever corporation, and, like, how much money you can bring in, people are gonna die for stupid reasons all the time. Like, every year, every month, every week, every day, somebody has their life ruined because they can't afford to get the help they need. And I think that's such garbage.
It is. It definitely is. And then it's like, they have options out there to help people who, you know, don't have the funds to do it. But then there's certain situations, for example, that me and my wife had to go through, where we were trying to get, you know, some financial assistance, essentially, and we don't qualify because we make too much. It never feels like that. Like, we out here, you know, living check to check, trying to, you know, pay these bills off, and you saying we make too much to qualify for that?
Yeah,
that never really made sense to me either. It's like, like, how is it I'm considered, like, in it, you know, up there in the class, but I'm still out here getting, like, the minimum? But I don't know, bro. It never made sense to me. In terms of, like,
overqualified.
Yeah, that shit sucks. Like it happens all the time. If you are on, because basically, I mean, realistically, there's the wealthy and then there's everybody else, right? And so, but if you live, the closer you live to the median, the closer you live to like that poverty line, right? Like I've lived up until recent history, my entire adult life, I've lived below the poverty line. When I was a kid, I grew up very like middle class, verging on upper middle class. Like I was very well taken care of back in the day, but back in the 90s. But like, after the economic decline, especially around 2004, et cetera, things for my family changed. And so like by the time I was an adult, like just my entire adult life I've been below the poverty line, which is not great. But then recently, and I'm obviously in California now. I think within the last year or so, they're like, technically you're above the poverty line. Yeah, but I'm so close that it does me no favors. I would get any benefit from it. It's just like like this is the red. You're just above the red. So you're good. You're good. We can tax you more. We can we don't have to give you certain programs or benefits. It's like no, but like so no, those type of technicalities do suck, and and a lot of the public program, there are a lot of great public programs that exist to help people. That are like funded by like the community and you're not for profit, not government related. Though there's some government assistance too, but like the thing is they can't carry the strain on their backs. Like there are just too many people suffering. At almost all levels, except again for the very, very wealthy, that like it's just like I don't know, trying to save a sinking ship with a bucket. It's just like so
it's true.
I don't know. Hopefully someday we'll make more progress. We are making progress over time, but it's just so slow.
Yeah,
it's just sad.
Yeah. In the meantime, all we can do is just take care of our bodies, y'all. Make sure y'all staying healthy out there, drinking y'all waters. Make sure you exercising as much as you can if you have time.
Yes.
Even if you got like 10 minutes of your day, just do something.
Go for the least that you can do. I mean, depending on your physical situation, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Or whatever physical capability you have. Just maximize that. Your brain as well. Your brain is a part of your body. Yep. So like, even if it's just like I'm gonna play some puzzle games for like 10 minutes just to keep that sharp, like that's huge, which brings us kind of like full circle to like, what we do as lifelong gamers and streamers is like there's something really, we grew up in an era where like video games were seen as like a child's toy and a fad or something that like you're supposed to put away at a certain time. I think we're one of maybe Gen Xers as well, but we're one of the first generations that are just like, nah, I just do this for life. Like this is a legitimate hobby and there are legitimate benefits to doing. Yeah, like anything else, too much of it can fuck you up too. Don't get lost in your gaming, but like as far as managing stress, as far as having a social outlet for people who maybe don't have the easiest time making friends, and just fun fact, like as you get older, a lot of us have a lot more trouble making friends just because the adult life isolates you kind of. You're kind of just dealing with your own ball of wax a lot more. So it depends on what your situation is, but it's social. It could be good stress relief, good for your mental health. Like it can relax you. It can help you. It can help you strengthen your mind, hand-eye coordination, puzzle solving, problem solving. Building your patience if you're hard road gamers like us, right? So like it's just there's so many great benefits, and I think we are part of that wave. Gen X and millennials and all that stuff. Where like we're just like, no, I'm probably going to be, if I'm lucky enough, I'll be 80 years old playing, Nintendo or whatever. Like, it's just something I do. And I think it helps. And especially speaking for myself as somebody with, with chronic illness and mental health issues, like, sometimes your options are limited. All the things that people normally suggest, like, hey, go lift weights, or just have a better diet, or just like go out, take in some art, whatever. Like, all those things are great. It's good to have more tools. The more tools you have, the better equipped you are to make it through whatever you're struggling with. But sometimes your scenario, your very real life circumstances, prevent you from having access to those things. And that's why I think it's important not to shit on something that is helping someone if it's not, like detrimental to them, like if it's something that they can throw themselves into, whether it's music, whether it's painting, whether it's video games, whatever it is, playing guitar, whatever you're doing, don't minimize that. Don't belittle that, because that might be a real lifeline. You don't know their story. You don't know what their life is like, and what they're able to do, what situation they're in, who they're living with, how those, like all that stuff. So,
no, that's true. That's true. No, shout out to video games.
I believe there was an older lady who was just indicted into the Guinness Book of World.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
World of Records, for being like 94 or something like that, and well after 90, and playing video games. She was
being a gamer.
With her PS.
Yes.
She was being her PS5. I do believe I will be gray haired. I'm already gray haired, as you can see. It's coming, but
we're all there.
Yeah. But yeah, just the thought of I feel like I have a sharper mind because I, in some shape or fashion, am always playing a video game, whether it's on my handheld or whether it's I'm not when I'm driving, but even still, I feel like that gaming has helped me become a better driver. Like, I passed my driver's test because of Grand Theft Auto.
Oh shit!
Being able to know,
oh shit!
No, that's dope though.
Like, truly being able to know when to accelerate, and having to do those missions of backing up and moving into certain spaces, or having like this huge semi truck where you have to back it up and put it directly into those spaces, or having to fly a plane and landing it properly. Like, all of those things, I feel like has helped me understand hand-eye coordination, all those things in terms of driving. So from my very first test, I only had to take it once. It would knock it out of the park, simply because, like, all the cones everywhere just moving. Like, I love knowing that has helped me excel in life. No, because I like to think I'm a pretty great driver. I hate maintenance.
Now, it could be just me, but I never really understood the cones. Like, what do the cones like mean? Because what does that represent in real life driving? Like, how is this gonna help me? Am I gonna be swerving, like dodging? Like, do the cones represent people? Do the cones represent other cars? You want me to swerve between traffic? Like, what exactly does that
mean? Timing. I mean, it could be any one of those things. It's a no-no spot. There are a lot of no-no spots on the road, and so being able to have that sense of reaction and moving, and then understanding space and how much car you have, it helps you. If you can get into those tight spots, then you should be able to get into it, period. You know what I mean? But,
man, that's the one I almost failed. I was at my, like, I had 1 point left, and if I got that point, I would have failed, and it was parallel parking. I did terrible. I was like, bro, I was like, look, I'm never gonna parallel park, but we can do this. Let's try. Let's try it out. I didn't do well, but I passed. I passed it on my first try, but if I would have got one more point, I would have had to retake it.
I had to use my charisma a little bit, because my trainer, he we ended up coming to a train.
Mm.
And we had to sit there. It was like, okay, well, I guess we'll try and figure this out. And we'll talk about just random stuff. And we were
Mhm.
sitting there, and I guess by the end of it, he was like, "I like you."
That can go a long
know what?
way.
Yeah,
I will pass you. That's what I'm
right.
gonna
You
go
know what I
past
mean?
you.
You know, just go home. Just go. You know, I mean, like, it was really,
Here's your permit on the
cool.
spot. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
No, all of
yeah, it was
that,
pretty
all of
cool.
that's valid. It's why I miss in-person auditions a lot of times, because I'm just like, I feel like
Mhm.
one of my tools is just being good with people. So
Mhm.
when you can
Mhm.
actually meet me, there's a genuine warmth, and there's like a, you know, a listening and paying attention and taking direction well. Like I thrive off the feedback they give me in live auditions. You know, I think you have to be like good enough for them to want to like give you more direction, because sometimes they're like, all right, that was great, you can leave. But like other times, like
Mhm.
if they see
Mhm.
something in you, they're willing to be like, hey, can you just do that again, but like this time XYZ. And that has helped me, I don't know, get further along, get callbacks, book the job sometimes. Like I think it's like that missing ingredient now in the age of you know, self tapes. You know, we're all actors here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like that component is you gain something because you have more access. Like you can reach further across the globe,
Yeah.
really, with just
Mhm.
recording from home or wherever you're at. And I think that's beautiful. However, the aspect of just like they actually have to meet you, and they actually
Mhm.
have to like, you know, watch you in real time and stay with you if you're engaging enough. I think there are just certain components that I definitely miss about that. But you do save
I
on
agree.
gas, so there's like, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's a double
convenient.
sword.
It's
Yeah.
definitely convenient. But I feel the same way. I do miss live auditions. Even this recent one, it was a self tape, and even then, I still felt, you know, shout out to the wife. She helped me, you know, read lines and stuff.
Dope.
But it was still the fact that I don't know. I feel like I would have did much better in, you know, doing it in person, but
Yeah.
it still worked out. But yeah, I agree with you. It's I don't know, that feeling is just like, I'm also great with people, so it just helps. It helps a lot to
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
face to face interactions with people.
Like I get that, you know, it should be about the performance, and like if you can't hold their
Yeah.
attention on a self tape, then you know, maybe that's something you need to work on. I understand that aspect of it, but there also is, I mean, like a real, because you can knock it out of the park on a self tape,
Mhm.
but can you take direction? Can you adjust? And I
That
guess
part.
there are callbacks for some of these things. Sometimes there isn't. Sometimes they got to
Yeah.
like cast you
Mhm.
yesterday. But you know, finding out like, okay, well, you're talented, like you were engaging, you were electric to watch, but like, are you polite? Do you take direction? You know, do you have a preset plan and you stick to that, and you can't like, you know, improvise? Like, you know, all these things come into play when you start working with people in person. And so
True.
that's why I really, again, just I really do miss that component of auditioning, because it was just even just as an actor, and I mean, I know we get labeled as like self-centered and whatever, but as an actor, I feel like it works both ways, because you get to see how you can work with me. And literally, that's the feedback I got from some auditions. They were just like, "No, you did that well. You made the adjustment. Great. You know, we'll be in touch." And sometimes I got it, and sometimes I didn't. But like, that was great for them. But what was great for me is that sort of feedback of like, knowing that I can, you know, provide that, or that maybe I need to work on something. Maybe they did give me an adjustment and I didn't change enough. Like I couldn't nail whatever it is they wanted me to do. And I'm like, oh, well, that's information. I can use that, because as actors, we
Yeah.
put ourselves out there again and again and again into the void, and often don't get shit back. We don't hear anything. No, thank you. No, you didn't get it. No, you know,
It's
no.
true.
Hey, your audition was actually pretty dope. You know, and like the reason we didn't go with you was XYZ. I'm not expecting
Yep.
that, because you have so many actors to deal with, and I understand that. I'm just saying, from the actor perspective, it's hard So like the one of the advantages of the in-person experience is that on some level you get a sense of that. Like I've gone into auditions and like these people are absolutely cold and distant and like don't give a shit about me as a person. They're just looking for one specific thing, and that's fine. That's the way they do it. That's cool. But maybe I wouldn't have had a good time working with them anyway.
That's a good way to look at it.
You know, and then other times it's like, oh, these people were really loose. They were playful. Like they actually put some feeling behind the read, even though it's just like a PA or whoever's reading with me. Like, you know, they really tried to be accommodating, and they really like, I don't know. So like, I'm rambling, but I just really feel like those things, I would love to see come back around. I want to keep the option of self tapes. Because like, you know, you're in China and they're casting, you know, the Karate Kid, which they found their person, but they're casting the Karate Kid and you're in China. Like, you're not gonna fly out to LA. I mean, you can, but you know what I mean. So like,
audition.
I mean, Henry Cavill did it for Superman, but like he had to work his ass off to do that. So you know, I think both tools need to be available. I guess.
Yeah, it tends to make a wider net for opportunity a lot of the time. There's people, for the longest time, they just plucked people directly out of Los Angeles. Right. They plucked people directly out of New York, or you had to commute all the way to do those things. And it just makes it a little bit easier. It's kind of like the way dating is nowadays. It makes it a little bit more easier and accessible to speak with someone who's across the way. Now, that's not necessarily the greatest thing sometimes, just because then your options are always open, or you're always looking through the window at certain potentials, I guess you could say. So it makes it a little bit easier for you to lock it down with the person that you're with. But I feel like when it comes to acting, you get to experience maybe that person who is incredibly unique but lives in Indiana somewhere, you know what I mean, in a really, really small town, who maybe doesn't can afford to get all the way to California, like how you were saying. Like if you live all the way in China and you're not going to commute all the way to Los Angeles, or the odds are less in terms of that. So I feel like it makes it a whole lot easier to be able to reach people. And then if you do see potential on that screen, then you might pay, you know, to actually have them come in. And that is few and far in between a lot of the time. But I feel like now we're seeing a whole lot of people who have popped up from the internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obscurity, like Issa Rae.
Yes.
To name an example, her starting her web series thrust her, and you know, being on YouTube thrust her into stardom, because they saw potential and they saw something that they could work with, and they loved her ideas and being able to write fresh, to have a fresh take on being in your 30s and just living in this society, being a millennial, being Gen X. Like, she wrote for a lot of people and a lot of different experiences. And so you have these people who, you know, only have TikTok, you know, and are building from that. I feel like it just makes it easier for it. Essentially what we're doing a lot of the time is an audition. You know what I mean? Like, we want to get picked up, and we want to be able to have sponsors and things of that nature. And so I feel like it just makes it easier for us to be able to all work together. And I see the benefits, and I can see the disadvantages too. Pros and cons.
Absolutely. There usually are. It usually isn't all one way, which is something I know we've kind of lost in popular, you know, culture and society, is just like, the idea that there's nuance, that like maybe it's not all bad and it's not all good. Like it's not just a choice between this was fire and this was trash. Like sometimes it's you know, there's room to be like, well, they did this well, but this part of it isn't great. But you know, it's a trade-off, and you know, pick your battles. And so I think that's a great thing to bring up, because I don't want to sound like an actor who's just like, I hate this. No, because I do appreciate it. Like I've nailed, I've definitely nabbed some jobs off of self-tapes. Same. And like there are definitely some places that like would have been hard for me to reach had I not had that option. So shout out to that. I think my least favorite part of self-taping is entirely just a personal thing, but like I just don't like having to produce myself. I'm like, all right, now I was gonna say, the lights are set, the lighting, the editing, the sound, quality.
Yes, the sound. That was the reason why I got the lapel mic, because I was listening back to a lot of my self-tape sounds. I was like, man, my sound is terrible in these. I should give me a mic. I should give me a mic that I can connect to my phone and just do it that way. But it's a lot. The editing portion of it,
I know for me personally, like if I could flip the camera, I would. But like me personally, like I'm looking at myself. You see yourself, Like I'm looking at, I'm looking at the like just from my line of sight, like in the other corner of my room is where I have my self tape set up, and like it's like I would love to be in a position where like I have like a bigger home and like I have a room allocated to whatever. But like it's cumbersome for me because it's just like, all right, the lights and the backdrop just sit over there. They're kind of partially in the way of the closet that leads to my washer and dryer. And like and every time like I have to shift it around, I have to put the lights in position because I don't have enough space to just leave that stuff set up for an ideal like slate or whatever. Like I can't just leave it in place. I have to put it all away and tuck it in the corner, and it's still kind of in the way. And every time it's like fine tuning, I have to find that stuff. It's not like I'm better at it the more I do it, but like it's not like it's an exact thing, because the different auditions ask for different, shots, like shots, I want this to be a medium close up. I want this to be, from waist to, I mean, I guess the same thing, but I want this to be like, full body shot at this point. I want you to do these things. And so it's, adjusting the lighting every time. The time of day changes, what's the settings I have to put the light on, making sure the sound is good. Depending on what time of day it is, I'm in Los Angeles. I can hear cars going all through the day and night.
Oh my God, the cars. Y'all know I live on the main street. That is the hardest thing for me here at this house, because I living on this main street. I got cars coming up and down. I can only do self-tapes at night because that's the quietest it ever is. And again, my lighting, I'm like this room here is in the front of the house. So the lighting comes in here like all day, just bright. So I can only do self-tapes at night. That's the only way to get it,
And that's quite the challenge, because it's like the self-tapes, again, not putting this necessarily on, it's a bigger conversation, not putting it all on casting directors. I think some casting directors could do a little bit more to stand up against this, but it's not all on casting directors. It's mostly the studio that's like, oh yeah, by the way, we need this part cast by like Friday, and it's like it's Wednesday, and it's just like then the casting directors who opt to take that offer go, okay, yeah, we'll take on this job and try to find you the actors in that time frame, and then they have to put pressure on our agents or us directly if you don't have an agent to be like, hey, this is due like by 10 a.m. tomorrow. It is already 5:30 p.m. Good luck.
Yep.
And it's just an exhausting process. When I get into it, I do remember they're like, oh yeah, this is fun. I like acting. Yeah. So this is fun. But like the steps you have to do to be in position to do it, and it's a love-hate relationship with the pressure that you're put under, because on one hand, it does make me have to make choices faster and trust my instincts, and I don't have time to do 30 takes, and like, it is a good thing, but I feel like it shouldn't be the industry standard, because I feel like, that presumes that, well, if you really want it, you'll somehow make a way to make it happen. It's like that presumes I have nothing else going on. I got this audition out of the blue. You understand that, right? Like I have a whole day that and responsibilities that I have to attend to. I may be at work. I may be looking after a family member. I may be getting like very important things done that need to be done. And it's like, oh, by the way, if you really want this, you got to get this in by tomorrow. That's on you. And also let us know if you're going to do the audition right away, because we need that confirmation. And it's just like, I think I can pull this off. And so I just think that's not fair.
Sometimes you do end up missing one or two.
No, thank you for saying that.
Be like that.
Absolutely, yes. And then that reflects badly on you because you said you were going to do it, and then they're like, "Oh, he just didn't even care to do it, so maybe next time we don't call this guy." Yeah. And it's like, no, you don't understand. I don't have a direct line of communication with you. I would absolutely tell you, like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to make this deadline." But
it'd be like that.
It absolutely
that happened before.
Yeah.
Tell us about it, Skip.
Yes, please do.
Well, I feel like I was pretty young. I want to say maybe like 21 and staying with my sister at the time. And I remember I had gotten this audition and no transportation, like just really downtrodden, and trying to catch the bus all the way out to this audition and relying on transit in order to get there. I remember just being like really young and wanting to get there and having to like message them and say like, I'm running a little bit late. Like, is there a way? I remember just being fresh to auditioning and to think, had I had a self-tape back then, you know what I mean? Like, it would have made it so much easier for me, just to have that opportunity to try and get there or show that I had the potential. I think, there's a lot of that. I have problems with setting up production or having to produce yourself as well, having to set up that lighting. Or I remember trying to get my uncle to shoot my headshots, but it was just like a regular Canon, like nothing too. Just remember like the earlier days of stepping into auditioning as an actor and trying to do things that are professional. And I'm still a little daunted by it a little bit, which is why I'm excited to move to Chicago and be able to build up that tolerance and have more opportunity to audition so I can not be so chilled and petrified when like a big audition comes around. So I feel like I understand the advantages to a self-tape just because there's not that pressure. You know what I mean? Of having to stand in front of them a lot of the time. I know that we're proving ourselves, but sometimes for me, that audition, my nerves get the better of me when I know that I can knock it out of the park, or know that I've been practicing at home, and then you get in front of them and it's completely different. So it's just
absolutely.
like
That's true.
having to have the nerves of steel, or acting as though you've already got it. and then you know what I mean? Like it's so much easier to say that, and unless you're employing that daily or weekly or however often you need to have these auditions. But I was just thinking about as you guys were talking, just thinking about the earlier days of me having an audition,
the first auditions,
and how those nerves have not changed since then. So it's like,
nah, that's real. There, like I said, there's nuance to this. It's not there's not a better or worse type thing. Like some people really prefer the self-tape process, and they like the fact that they can, do as many takes as they need, edit it the way they want to edit it, present themselves the way they want to be presented. and not have to do all that on the spot. And then, other people prefer, the in-person things. Some of us like a little bit of both. So it's nice to hear the different experiences because, I don't, like we're not a monolith, every person, every actor is a little different. And I don't think we should, necessarily be shitting on any of these things. I think like it's just having real conversations about like the pros and cons of all of it. It's just we're in a very daunting field. Totally optional. We don't have to be doing this, but like we feel drawn to do it, and it is vital to us because that's just how we're built. So it's yeah, it's just fun to have those conversations. Is like, I mean, even to this day, there are occasions where I've like, oh man, I definitely missed that deadline. Like I definitely did not turn this in on time. I've been doing this for, I feel like a little over 10 years now, professionally at least. And I'm like, there's still times where it's like, well, I'm gonna have to tell my agents and try to smooth things over so they're not mad at me.
We're human. Stuff is going to happen that's gonna prevent us from being able to do it all. That's just it's only so much time in a day. We all got things that we do outside of this acting, and we got health stuff, we got family stuff, we got all types of stuff.
No, it's really comforting to hear. And jumping back a touch, I think it's important. I slide this in there. Speaking of driving tests, because you guys, just killed it on the first try. I definitely ran a stop sign on my first driving test, which is an automatic. So if you're listening out there and you're like, man, like I failed like once or twice or whatever it is, like that happens. My dad was in the car. I was like 16. My dad was in the car. And he was in the back seat. He literally tried to reach out and grab me to like be like, dude, stop sign. And like I was just like, oh, what? Oh, and it was one of those like weird stop signs that's like they intentionally take you by.
What'd you say? Did you just turn around and say, what was that?
No, he didn't audibly say anything. He just kind of grabbed me.
Did you say something?
No, that was hilarious.
Off the wheel, huh?
Just wait a minute. No, say what you gotta say, man. Like, what was that? No, it was definitely one of those things that for somebody who struggles with embarrassment and failure, right? Like public failure. Like it was just like definitely like I kicked myself for the rest of the day for that. But my dad was very cool about just like, don't worry, that shit happens. Like you'll take it again. You'll get it next time. It's fine. Doesn't like nobody. He's like literally nobody's going to ask you in life. Did you nail it on your first? No one gives a shit. No one cares if you pass your driving test.
There's people out there that don't even have their license. So
right.
You do.
So I just wanted to throw that out there, just for anybody else who felt like embarrassed
about that. They gave me a sucker. I got a ribbon. It is. I care because it was first try. Hashtag first try.
He got that permit.
He immediately gets to the front of the line at the DMV. It's just like, oh, he's VIP. Just let him through to renew his shit.
Right.
He gets a bigger discount at Costco. Like there's a whole thing.
Right. And how many tries did it take you to pass your driver's license? Ma'am, step to the side. Thanks. Can we, Skipper, please. Come on down.
No, I feel like people don't normalize quote unquote failure enough, right? Yeah, because it's only temporary.
No, absolutely.
Success and failure are ephemeral. Like it's there, and then it goes away because it's like, well, now life goes on. You gotta keep doing the thing. So it's one of my favorite interviews with Kobe Bryant. I'm not even a big sports guy. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I give zero fucks about following sports, but Kobe Bryant is interesting to me. I grew up in a sports household, so like big Lakers fans, my older brother and my dad. And like Kobe Bryant really is exemplify just like applying yourself to be like the best version of yourself. And he gave this interview about how doubt was useless. because he's like worrying about whether you're going to win or lose, succeed or fail. It doesn't make any sense. It's a waste of energy because you just do your best and you go out there, you do your thing, and if you win, cool. You know, you still got to wake up the next day and start the journey all the way over again. If you fail, that sucks, but you still got to wake up the next day and start the journey all the way over again. And I just feel like I really admire that, because like that was definitely something that has taken me a greater chunk of my lifetime to really get. Like I always really did focus on like, I wasted this time, or I didn't do this well enough, or et cetera, just very hard on myself. So, you know, learning to just be like, no, well, that happened. And like, you know, and I feel how I feel about it. Like maybe it's not great, but like, you know, you're just like, it's just one step in the journey. You know, it's just part of the the rise and fall. That is the arc of life. So, you know, it's
we're gonna have failures, and our feelings are valid. You know, and I think that's what makes us like hard mode gamers, is because, you know, we're gonna fail sometimes, but we get right back up. We get right back up. We'll spend hours doing whatever it is we're doing until we beat that
struggle bus.
But nah, you the more you do stuff, the daily. Daily. The more you do it, the better you get. You know, that's anything. You practice at it. I'm not the greatest at archery. I still miss a lot, but the more I do it, I feel like I'm gonna continuously getting better and better. You know,
word. I think so many people
say that you have to fail upward.
True.
Yeah, I feel like I've always heard that. You know, because you failing means that you're not stopping. You're not. I mean, you're not. You're at least trying. You know what I mean? You're at least doing it to a certain extent where, okay, at least you did it. You know what I mean? So that you can move to the next time, or be able to adjust. If you never do it, then you never know what you need to be able to do differently the next time. And so it's like, otherwise you stay stagnant, and no one wants
it's really a relationship with it's really the mental game, right? Like it's your relationship with success and failure, like just wrapping your head around both of those things and not putting too much on either of those things, and just embracing them, you know, for what they are, as just like this is just part of the process. This is just like this is just what it is. Like, you know, sucking at first or whatever is part of it. Getting your ass kicked sometimes is just part of it. And I think there's so many people that, you know, and, you know, I'm sure at some point in my life, I was one of those people in some lane or another, but like so many people get discouraged when they aren't immediately, good at something, or they don't immediately figure something out, or they're just like, oh, I guess this just isn't for me, because like that was stupid hard and I got nothing back from it, and I, you know, like everybody else around me was doing it really well, and I'm just gonna pack it up. You know, people do that with the gym, people do that with martial arts training, people do that with sports, people do that with art of all kinds, you know, painting, drawing, you know, making movies, music, all of that stuff. People will just feel, you know, so discouraged, and it's definitely definitely a muscle you have to develop. Also has to be worth it to you. So like maybe that isn't your thing. Maybe you don't feel strongly enough about it to go through all that, because these are all options. You don't have to do any of these things, but you do have to do something with your life, and at some point or another, you're gonna have to come up against that struggle. And you're gonna have to make a conscious decision to say that that's okay, you know.
True.
That's just what it needs to be, so I can get where I'm going. So.
And if you don't, life passes you by.
Yeah.
I feel like there are a lot of people within our town who are so content with where they are. They're so afraid to take the next step that they force themselves into being content with where they are, and so then they never try to move beyond that, and then you become really, really closed-minded to the world that's changing around you. And so like it blows my mind sometimes when you stop having goals, or you stop shooting or striving to be better in some magnitude, in some way, just because there's so much more life to live. There's so much more to do. And I feel like once you stop trying, or once you stop attempting at doing newer things, then yeah, everyone else is speeding right past you, which work at your own pace, of course. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm not saying that you have to do anything at this phase of your life by any means, but I feel like to always want to better yourself, or always want to learn and move forward. I feel like that's what I appreciate about my mom, is that she's always um, attempting to try new things. And she'll call me, and she'll have watched some new show, or she'll have gone to some new restaurant. And I really appreciate her sharing that with me, because I've been rooting her on to be able to do those things. And she asks questions about things that she didn't necessarily know beforehand, or that she's been exposed to. And so to watch it through her eyes, her bettering herself, her understanding culture in a different way, in a different manner, because she did that for me, to be able to put me in all these different. I went to a lot of different schools. I've only stayed at the longest that I've stayed at a school was 3 years, and so bouncing from culture to culture, or being exposed to so many different cultures and people and different factions and things like that has helped rounded me out a whole lot more. And so to see her wanting to better herself, and just inspires me. And so I feel like once you do that, and you're reaching for more in your life, you tend to inspire other people to do those things as well, you know? And so
Absolutely.
I want that for myself, and I want that for everybody else too.
I want that for you too, Skip. I want that for
Well,
you.
thank you.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
Thank
No,
you.
that's
Thank
real.
you.
That's real.
Which is why, you know, I gotta I'm gonna get that tag in.
You gonna get that tag in? You gonna get that tag in?
We did it. We did it. We got here. We got here, folks. We did it. We did it together as a team. No, I love that for you. No.
Look, we'll be here every step of the way. We'll assist you in any way we can. If you need help finding a main, we got you. Maybe you already know who you're gonna main, but if you need assistance, just let us know.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love hearing people like taking the swing at new things. Yes, I mean, it's just I talk about a lot on stream, where like fighting games in particular are just so intimidating for people, because again, people don't like to lose, and you know, like when you're playing against a bunch of like an internet full of people, or even just in your close personal circle, people who've been playing for like years, you could feel like
different styles.
yeah, like I don't belong here clearly, so I'm just gonna put this controller down. And I'm like, no. If you're playing with the right people, if you can find the right parts of the community, which there's a lot of beautiful parts of the fighting game community, people are willing to help. People are like, hey, you did that well. Like, you might think about, you know, adding this to your arsenal. Like, you know, it's the people who are the gamers who are truly in love with the thing, love the community. They're not just selfish and like, I like the feeling of being, you know, dominant and crushing other players. They're like, I love having people to compete against. And how are you going to have that if you're always discouraging people and telling them they're trash and like telling them to, you know, pack it up, whatever. So like, you know, when you find those healthier parts of the community, which I like to believe I am in, like, we want you to be here. So like, yeah, like, you know, we're all trying to help each other get better. Like it's that anime rival thing. It's that Ryu Kin thing, right? Like it's like, if you're not doing everything you can, if you're not striving to be the best you can be, then I have nothing to sharpen myself against.
Right.
You know, so we're gonna,
iron.
Yeah, so we're gonna help each other
That's
out.
true.
You know,
That's true. This
So,
this is random, but I think this is why I always respected Cell from Dragon Ball Z. Because he was one of my favorite villains because he was always challenging and making sure they were at their top fullest strength in order to fight them. Like even though people was looking at Goku when he gave him that sensu bean, and Gohan was like just that respect alone, it was like, all right, see, this is a true villain who's willing to not only fight someone at their fullest potential, but it's given. Goku saw that and gave it back to him. Was like, all right, it comes full circle. You did that for us to make sure we were at the top of our game. You sent out these little Cell Juniors so that way you can test us and see how well we do against them. He did was just sit there at his little stadium, just waiting for him. He was just waiting for him, like, let me know when y'all get here. Let's do this.
All right.
No,
he's like, you passed that? I got another form for you. Go get some rest.
One of the realest bad guys in all of DBZ.
Oh yeah,
that is 100% why he was my favorite. Like it's no contest. Look, I mean, even like Vegeta, Piccolo, Raditz, Cooler, Frieza's pretty great, but like the Cell games were my favorite part of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, same.
I just think that again, you're right. It's just that mentality of just like, no, I'm not trying to get this easy win. Like, like, what does that do for me? How do I grow? Like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna make sure y'all are your top tier.
Why you gotta call out Power Rangers like that? Why you gotta go for them like that? Like, they was going hard. They took care of it in a day, and when I tell you, every single morning I turned on Dragon Ball Z and Cell was still there.
Right? Like, refused to fucking die.
When is this going to end?
Like, I was reduced to I was reduced to a single cell, but I grew back.
It's like another form, like like they exploding, folks.
But not only were like the strong Gokus and Vegetas, but you had like people like Tien fighting them. You had people like Krillin stepping into the ring. Like, they was trying.
Everybody needed to stop this guy. So it's a funny line between like both Cell and Goku are fucking hella irresponsible. Also, you respect the competitive spirit. You're just like, no, like I don't want to win against you when your knee's busted and like make that bust that 3-point shot in your eye. Like, no, I want you to be top tier, putting in that defense, and I still want to get by you. That's gonna feel better. That's gonna help me become what I need to become. So
that's how I felt about like recent, like Lord Beerus. I felt the same way about him. Like, I felt like he was always he expected more of them. You know what I mean? Like, if they never met a particular mark, or he would always push them or ridicule them to a certain degree to make them feel as though
it's true.
Make them feel as though that they had to go harder in some way, or they were never enough, and that burned Vegeta up. That burned.
Now I don't agree with hitting women. Beerus, he slapped the shit out of Bulma and sent Vegeta on the spiral. I don't agree with that, but
he didn't care. He don't care who.
He did push for
equal
sure.
Opportunity.
Rated E for everyone. Is Beerus' statement? Yes.
That's sure. Like, if you're gonna run up, get done up.
And we all know Bulma. She runs her mouth.
She runs her mouth. You know what I mean?
And shout out to her for being like, I don't give a fuck if you're a god. Fuck you and your bullshit. Get off our planet. Stop acting like a child.
So to speak, it was.
I respect that spirit.
Oh, absolutely.
We be saying the same thing. We don't necessarily condone women hitting, but we also don't want our women running into the face of danger. You know what I mean? Thinking that they can take on anything, and they have never thrown a punch, and you know what I mean? Like,
I'm such a. Oh, go ahead.
I'm not saying they should have got hit.
No. But those are I mean, those are the risks when you stand up to bullies. You may take a hit, like but like it doesn't mean it's not worth doing. And that's why I'm like respect to Bulma, because I'm just like
respect. Like she
I'm
knew
that
how
type
strong he
of.
was. She knew he was a guy. Like
she very much doesn't care who
she didn't care.
She's living in this world.
Look who she's with.
Right,
she's with Vegeta.
Right. You can dissect it from either angle. You could be like, that was kind of selfish because she's putting everybody at risk. This dude could just wipe out Earth. But also, I respect the grind, in that, like, she's like, no, you don't get to come here and talk to us any kind of way and just run shit. Like, I don't get, like, I'm similar to Bulma in that moment, in the sense that I'm like,
nah, respect.
I will take that ass whooping just to spit in your face. Like, I'll be that dude that's like, all right, there's this movie called Dog Soldiers that my brother Steve really loves, and like one of his favorite lines is, because it's basically a movie about these soldiers that turn into werewolves, and like the werewolves start attacking this dude, and like he knows he's toast, and before the thing can devour him. He's like, I hope I give you the shits. Like, that is my mentality. Like, that's my mentality. Like, yeah, you can fuck me up, but also kiss my ass on the way out. Like, it's just I respect that in any character whenever I see it. I'm like, yeah.
But you also have those Vegetas in those. He also have those Vegetas in those moments where it's like, shut up, girl. Like, I don't want to fight. Like,
wait, you are out of line. When Vegeta,
like, you can see, he ain't got his ass whooping. He ain't got his ass whooping. I gotta fight for your honor because you can't shut your damn like shut up.
No, that's valid, because Vegeta, as proud as he is, was on his best behavior. Not because he couldn't take an ass whooping, but because he's like, I'm actually growing up, and other people matter, and I'm gonna hold this deep down inside of me, because everybody doesn't deserve to die right now. Like, so he was being mature.
Yeah, he was afraid of pissing him off. It's true. And destroying the whole world. I think he was very
yeah. But then once Bulma capped the hands, he's like, well, fuck that then.
Agreed.
I don't care if you are a guy. It's true. I don't care how much Kakarot is more stronger to be, and how many times he done leveled up and went super whatever.
Whose birthday it is. It was a birthday.
They were celebrating
like a celebration. Yeah. I don't care about that birthday.
Yeah. It's true. He did come in like
birthdays. Yeah, right. I heard y'all had the best food in the galaxy. Where is that?
That's literally all he cared about, was the food, bro.
Right.
That's all he cared about.
Yeah, he didn't care.
And I find that relatable on some level.
Oh, same.
Right, showing up to the party. Where the food at?
I know, that's why I go to Chicago. I go to Chicago for the
food. Not for the people.
I got good food out there, man. Same thing with Louisiana, bro. Food down there.
Really? That's that southern.
That's what I hear. I can only dream about it.
Mike Epps just Louisiana got a restaurant. Mike Epps just opened up a restaurant, and I had the opportunity to be able to go. Downtown Detroit, and he opened up this. It's like a comedy bar, it's a club, and it's a restaurant. And so my mom, made reservations for the restaurant, thinking that she was purchasing tickets for the comedy club. And so we ended up getting to go to both. Okay. And when I tell you that food was so good.
Was it?
So, like southern fried catfish, like
That sounds good.
deep
I like
fried
catfish.
Cornish hen. It was just it was so good. It was
Southern food is
salmon,
always hits for me. I
salmon
love
bites.
Southern food.
Oh yeah, man. It was just a great atmosphere in general.
I might have to check that place
I
yeah.
out.
love hearing that. That's dope.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not to get off
time,
topic. But
next time in
little
town. No,
tidbit.
this matters. This is important. Fuck the rest of the podcast.
Right. Food, I'm hungry.
Absolutely.
When I'm back,
Y'all done turned me into Lord Beerus, and I'm thinking about anime food and shit.
it always looks so good. It always looks
does.
ridiculously
Yo,
good.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, to this day, as millennials, we see that meme from a Goofy movie where it's just like, I want that pizza. I've been dreaming about that pizza
Right,
my entire life.
Yeah.
Animated food. I don't know why, but especially in anime, they be going hard. I'm like, well, I'm hungry now.
And like even in video games, like as of recent, like
Yeah.
they've been making food look
Yeah.
so damn good. I'm like, damn, that look good. Final Fantasy be doing
FF15.
that all the
Fantasy,
time.
yo. That's what I was thinking of.
Man, they be
Final
doing
Fantasy,
so
man.
good, bro.
Yo.
I've
Truly.
discovered another recipe. Like, yes, let's go.
Shout out to
Yes,
those,
what it's gonna
those
look like.
yeah. Shout out to those artists that be creating those because I know they be sitting there hungry as hell. Like, man, I'm gonna have to go give me some of this for real.
Mhm.
I hope they had the hookup.
Oh,
I hope
yeah.
they had some great food ordered in
I hope
or
so.
made for the.
I hope so.
But no, next time I'm in
Mhm.
town, I definitely would love to go to some spots that y'all like or something.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Skip, you
sure.
be going to all the spots. I need to definitely go where you be at, Skip, because I need to know.
I don't really.
You don't really?
I don't really. I because I work in a restaurant so much. You know what I mean?
That
Like the
makes
last
sense.
thing
That makes
I
sense.
want to do is go and be in a restaurant because then I'm starting to like judge everything. You know
Oh
what
no,
I mean?
I
Like,
get that. I get that.
No, that makes
Yeah.
sense. No,
Unless
but
it's a great establishment.
Mhm.
but you do be ordering. You do always make it sound good on stream.
You do.
You're not gonna
was
go to the
thinking about-
restaurant, but you'll have it brought to you.
I just be on stream with my little bowl of cereal, my CTC, cinnamon toast
100%.
crunch.
You know what I mean?
Captain Crunch
Y'all
over
be
here.
knowing me.
Yeah.
I be
Here
feeling
goes
so bad.
Skip be having his gourmet meal ordered.
Yo, I be feeling so
I'm like,
bad.
what you got? What you got today, Skip? What you eating? I can't see it. Hold your plate up a little bit.
It be
I
so good.
feel-
My mouth watering.
I feel so like accepted and seen in this group just because we stay eating food. Like, I mean, it's just,
I'll
you know,
never see y'all eating food.
I'm always eating on
I'm
stream.
always eating.
I haven't
Last
made
stream,
it.
I was eating. I streamed Saturday. I was eating a whole slice of pizza while I was playing video games.
I
be
don't.
having to take breaks.
I don't think I've made it through a single stream yet where I didn't have something to eat.
Some snack.
And-
Phil literally has his tray like right next to him where he got
Yo.
his whole meal with him.
Look, we're gonna be
Yo.
sitting here in whatever seat we're sitting in for hours because
For
we're
hours.
we're those type of
Absolutely.
gamers and streamers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be comfortable. That's why my chair is just a fucking recliner. It's not even a gaming chair; it's just a recliner. That's why I have my TV trays set up. I make sure everything that I really want to have is within reach because I'm gonna be here for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
It definitely
I
helps.
respect that.
Definitely helped having shout out to the previous channel I was on, Tactile TK. It definitely helped having done a 24-hour stream because you definitely lose like any. I mean, I barely had any shame before. I just really didn't care. But you know, when you do a 24-hour stream, you definitely get to the point where you're like, well, I'm gonna eat at some point, y'all. Like, I'm gonna be
It's
here.
true.
Like, I'm gonna have to take restroom breaks. I'm gonna have to drink lots of fluids. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna be on for 24 hours for this charity. I'm about to be eaten in front of you. I don't care how that looks.
Yeah, no, I don't
It's
want
true.
you to. I be feeling bad.
No, I don't feel bad, Skip.
I be
Don't
feeling
feel
bad sometimes just because I know people didn't necessarily log on to as just ASMR, just me like,
but the real ones,
my fingers and like gravy dripping down my.
The real ones are rooting for you,
like,
Skip. We're rooting for you. We're like, yes, get that meal in.
Fat boy all day over here. I can't.
The people watching are most likely eating with you. They probably got their meal like, oh yeah, this is my.
Please eat along with me. It makes me feel better.
This is a eat along stream. Feel free to bring your own meal.
I had one stream. One stream. This only happened once where like I was eating. And I was being like conscious about the microphone because like I picked something loud. I was like, I got chips. I'm gonna mute the mic. I was just going in. Turns out Mike wasn't muted, and so like this one new viewer came in and was like, why do you crunch like that, like into the microphone?
Why you crunch like that?
Just like, oh my bad, I thought the mic was muted. He was just like, rule number one of gaming, don't eat in game. I'm like, oh well, I break that rule every day. I don't know what to tell you. This is what it is on this channel. I just like, he was
not
so annoyed.
Rules.
He was, whoever they were, right? In my stream, come in my stream and be like, how dare you eat food in front of me? I'm like,
rule number one, you do not eat while you're streaming.
You do not eat on streaming.
I was like,
rule 3709.
Too fucking bad.
It's in the handbook.
And you know what? That's
Professor Umbridge. Like what? That's just like nailing testaments to the wall in my stream.
Smacking my hands with rulers. Like, no, like
what are you?
That's why it's best to just be you and just be real with people, because like you don't want those people. Like if he was that uptight about me feeding myself. It'd be one thing if he was just ribbing me. It'd be one thing if he was just like, dude, you're really fucking loud in that mic. I'd be like, oh, my bad, dude.
Right.
But for him to like read me the riot act and be like, you can't do this and whatever, it's like, oh, well, good. Bye. Go enjoy someone else's stream. I don't want you in this community.
Yeah, nah.
Sir, I prefer you not to eat on stream. Would you please eat before and after?
Could you imagine like going into like, you know, like one of the streamers that likes to like stream like I and especially in the LGBTQ community, like there are a lot of dudes that stream with like their shirts off and whatever, and they're wearing like kind of kink wear and all that stuff. And like, could you imagine going in there and be like, sir, could you please put a shirt on? Like you're in their stream. Get the fuck out. If this is not what you want to see, you have other channels. I don't know if you knew this. What if I told you you could go to another channel?
It's people that do that. Like they literally go, they first of all, you see like a little like snippet or like whatever before you even click on it. Like you'll see like a thumbnail of the stream, because once it's going, they have like a specific thumbnail of where they are at currently. So they'll see like somebody with, like you said, example, shirt off, and they'll literally click on it just to go in, just to say something. Like it's a lot of energy you serving, bro.
Right.
Click right past the chat rules. You know, okay, got it. And then
you got it. You got to hit okay, got it. Yep.
Immediately going in like. I don't care what your rules were, but my rules.
Crazy.
Ridiculous.
The
audacity.
That's why, and I don't know, like that's why I feel like in the Twitch politics that currently exist, you know, a lot of streamers have opinions about what other streamers are doing, and I'm like, look, if it's not straight up, I'm not even gonna say illegal. If it's not, because I definitely am in violation of DMCA. But if it's not like moral, like if it's something that's hurting somebody else, like something that is damaging, then like call that shit out. But if it's harmless, get the fuck out of there. Like you can do things the way you want to do things, and other people can do things differently, and there's content for everyone. There's a fun safe space for everyone to go to. Like, you know, let people, like some people have really toxic chats. I can't hang with that. But like I'm not gonna show up in your chat and be like, why does your chat suck? Adding to the negativity. I'm just gonna be like, this is not my space. I'm gonna keep moving. I'll find somebody else I want to hang out with. But like I don't understand the need to like, because people criticize again, like people who like to show skin, or people who like have a donation set up, or people who do whatever it is they do. And I'm like, look, if you don't want to see that or be around that, then don't.
And that's why they got specific categories for you to what you're interested in. That's what you should be going into. Like they literally have a pools, hot tub, beaches category. Like, don't go in there. You know they're gonna be in a bathing suit or a shirt off. Don't go in there being toxic, talking about, hey, this is not what you do on Twitch. It's the category. Right. Why are you here? What are you doing in there? Leave.
Yeah, you got to pick the clothed category. You need if it says cover up, you click on that.
Somebody shows up to your front door, starts stripping, like, then that's a problem. But you're going to them and saying, I don't like this.
Opening their door,
I don't like this.
Just like showing up to a strip club and being like, I don't approve of any of this. You should shut this shit
be
right
doing
now.
That.
Right, precisely. Walking into someone else's house and being like, that couch should not go there. I prefer it over there, thank you.
I'm dying because I can only imagine somebody walking into Drano's house and saying that, and his reaction.
Man, that'll be funny, bro.
Hey, Drano, why isn't so and so coming around here anymore? Yeah, well,
that's a good question.
As my granddad used to say, I figure there are enough ways in the world for each person to have their own, and I very much get behind that. Again, as long as you're not like hurting people, then I'm pretty much okay with you doing whatever you want to do.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
If your world is not popping my world in some way, or you know what I mean, like hindering me from doing my own thing, then keep all that over there.
They're not bothering me.
They ain't bothering me. Have your own. Have your own.
Not affecting me in no way, shape, or form. Nope.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. I love what we get to do. I love as entertainers, as actors, musicians, as streamers. Like, I love the variety that is out there. I like that there are a lot of options and a lot more ways to get what you like. YouTube and streaming services, though they can be controversial. I do appreciate the access they give people. Like, I like that there's so much. Like, just the other day, just last night, I was working on stream into the morning. I was tweaking stuff, and I came across, I don't know her name, so I can't shout her out right now, which is my bad. But this woman who just like has an entire stream devoted to, she plays music and covers on her piano, and like she lets you hang out with her rabbits. She has pet rabbits, and she's just devoted to like trying to help you calm your nerves. Like, if you have anxiety, like you can just hang out in her stream. She'll take requests. She'll play a song for you. She did a beautiful cover of Skyfall by Adele. So, but yeah, she's I don't know what age she is, but she's clearly like older than I am. So like, I was just like, this is cool to see. I love that there's a lane for, and she has a very successful stream, much bigger than my channel. So like, she's like, I don't know, 5K viewers or something, like, our followers or whatever. And I was like, dope. And let's go. And I was just like, I would not have like, I know there's a lot of different stuff on Twitch. I've seen cooking streams, I've seen music streams, I've seen all sorts of stuff, but like, this seems so specific, which is probably partially why it's so successful, but it's so specific and it's done with so much love. And it's like not the typical type of person you usually see lauded on Twitch. Usually it's like some 20 something, or even a teenager or some 20 something that like, gets a lot of TikTok views or whatever. But like, it's just like, no, this woman is just like, she has the skill and she understands that people go through things, and she's just like, hey, come chill, calm your nerves. I'm like, I'm with it. Definitely gonna shout her out on stream. She was cool.
Yeah. No, I love running into different things on Twitch. I've gone through rabbit holes of just different categories out of curiosity, just me seeing what's out there. And I've never seen or witnessed that, but it's been a couple where I'm like, yo, this is really fire. Like I've seen some
Mhm.
people, or I've seen somebody like literally just doing like a meditation stream. I've seen like all types of like really dope different things other than just gaming or whatever. And I think that's why I like Twitch. It is a little bit harder to find like specifics. Like unlike YouTube, you can just search, type it in, you'll find it.
Yeah,
But if you're in Twitch and you do get to discover something different and cool, it's worth it. It's definitely worth the search for sure.
Mm.
Going into
yeah.
that rabbit hole of Twitch, yeah, for sure.
I agree. I think that's one area where Twitch, and I know a lot of people have spoken out about it. Maybe they'll grow in this direction, but I think
Mhm.
discoverability is the one area they're lacking. They will
Yeah.
recommend interesting stuff, but like you just don't know
Mhm.
when they're going to do that and what they're going to choose to promote or push to the top. But like
Mhm.
a search, a more attuned search for like topic or interest or name or whatever. I think like that would be cool. That would be really cool.
Yeah,
Maybe
agreed.
someday.
Agreed. Mhm. And
Sorry, I'm having.
then of course eventually we're going to have I guess they're already still doing or currently doing the lives on TikTok where they're actually streaming from TikTok. I think they're doing that now. Where they're
Yeah, that's
streaming
the thing.
doing actual streams on TikTok for gamers and stuff. I believe they got like that multi-platform thing where you could do TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. I
Hmm.
don't know if Facebook is still a thing. I don't know if that's still a thing. I don't even know.
Mhm.
I know it used to be, but I don't know.
I know I streamed on Facebook one time, and it was interesting. It was interesting. It was
that's
very.
that's that's
I was a
enough.
little. I was a little.
Lots of information in there.
Yeah. I was a little. I don't know. It was weird taking my Twitch self and
Mm,
putting it on Facebook. You know what I
mhm.
mean? It just felt. I don't know. We should be able to bridge those gaps wherever, but it just felt odd. Maybe
Mm.
because it was the very first time that I was trying to do it. Maybe it was because it was at 9 o'clock at night,
Mhm.
possibly. But it was just an interesting feel. People would pop in, pop back out, or whatever. So
Yeah.
often, but it wasn't. And I know we're not. They recommend that you don't look at people, popping in or
Right, right, right.
leaving, things of that nature. But I don't know. I tried it out, and I may try it out again. It was just I was wondering if that was the um, market that people were interested in, and I was very interested in trying to show people what I do on
Hmm.
Yeah.
Twitch,
No, I get that.
to see if some people were interested. But yeah, no, it was interesting. I even tried doing TikTok that
No,
same night, and
I've
no, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I've thought about doing that as well because obviously my following on Twitch is not crazy high, but when you got like other socials where you do have like a bigger following or whatever, like on a Facebook or Instagram, where you have more people that that you think are going to support, but then you
Yeah,
try it out and then it's like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
not as supportive as I thought it was going to be, but I
Right.
tried, you know.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right,
A
yeah,
little
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
different.
No,
It's
A little
very
that's
different.
definitely the thing. I've definitely had mixed experiences, even just promoting on social media. Like, so
Hmm.
I'm glad I promoted on Instagram in the sense that like a handful of my friends did find me that way. They were like, "Oh, I didn't know. Like, let me check out the stream," and they have supported and been great parts of the community. But um, yeah, it's interesting finding places, finding ways to grow because it's such a niche thing that we do. Like
Hmm.
so it's interesting to see who who pays attention to that stuff, who's like, yeah, whatever, I'm happy for you, but like I'm not interested. You know, it's like it's such a different thing. But like I did just try a multi-stream to like Twitch and Kick once. I set up a Kick account just to test out the software and be like, oh, I can stream in 2 places at once. Let me see that, you know? It was cool. There were definitely some drawbacks to just the specific software I used. I believe I used Restream ISO or iOS or whatever. And I think I think when I use that feature, the Twitch stuff becomes less customizable as far as like setting category and like you know, like customizing my VOD tracks and stuff like that. I think it goofs some of that up, but otherwise it was a pretty seamless experience and the quality was good on both sites, and it's something I will continue to explore. I would love to like stream to like Twitch and YouTube or Twitch and Kick or maybe all 3 or something like that, just to find more kindred spirits, you know.
Truly casting a wider net.
Yeah, that's something I plan on doing too with YouTube. That's in the future for sure.
We hope you had a good time with that. That was a lot of fun for us to record. We couldn't help but talk about a little something that you all know and love, that is the world of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. At the time of recording, of course, we did not know that Akira Toriyama had passed. And so it's one of those things, you know, that happens in life sometimes. You know, I was literally just playing like Dragon Ball Fighters for the first time in years the other day, like a week before recording that, for no reason in particular. He's so big, his work is so ubiquitous that it's just ingrained in our lives and a part of our memories and who we are. So we're just trying to celebrate. I got a little Piccolo up on my screen if you're watching this on the VOD, because unlike these cats, I don't have dope ass Dragon Ball gear, so I'm gonna fix that. But so I need to get some t-shirts. I almost bought a shirt while I was on Santa Monica Pier. I almost bought a shirt that was like, I'm training to beat Goku, or at least Krillin. And I thought that was adorable, so I might go back and get that.
That's dope. That's dope.
But no, obviously that work means a lot to us. I mean, because that conversation we recorded, that was just natural. That was just, it's just a part of our lives, so we talked about it. And then obviously this happened, and just wanted to give him a shout and a tribute, because we really appreciate the joy, the countless hours of joy, and the straight up motivation and inspiration he's brought to our lives. You know, sometimes you in the gym and you got like, you know,
go Super Saiyan sometimes. You just gotta do it
for sure.
Shout out to the homie Jalen who went Super Saiyan back in the day, man. Sometimes we just gotta hit that.
Yeah, the thought and the moral is to always like better yourself. I felt like resided within Goku. There was always a sense of wanting to be better, striving to be better, working hard, not letting death stop you by any means. You know what I mean? Like,
never stop you.
You know, like really going to the nth degree to be the best in all things. And I appreciate that moral hit that he instilled in all of us as anime lovers. I think it was one of the very first animes that I had ever seen or latched onto, and remembering watching that before school, and sandwiched with, you know, like Sailor Moon and all of those things, just seeing the precursors of what could be and how much it had an influence on all of the animes that are coming up today. Just to be there at the birth of that, and to be there and be a part of that and love all of those things, and going to school and watching people sketch Dragon Ball Z characters and like all of those things. It has such an influence and power over all of us for many, many years. And so want to thank him for, you know, the creation and bringing that sense of fantasy into all of our lives.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. Even being like a person of color who didn't really know anything about anime in school. Like I was introduced to that young by a friend who put me on the manga of Dragon Ball, and I grew up in a predominantly hip hop and R&B household where we didn't have any type of like anime, nothing. So I knew nothing of this. So when I was introduced to it, it was like, oh, what is this? This is really cool. And I felt like that opened up so many like doors for me to just express how much I really and truly enjoy like the quote unquote nerd stuff, from anime to mangas to video games, and just being able to be open and not afraid to express like I love these things because everybody else did too. It was like the common conversation for people of my skin color, where we can have a conversation about how much we love Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So just being able to see that the show on Toonami with my big cousins and them introducing it to me was a great moment in my life. So thank you, Akira, Toriyama. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate you.
Indeed. No. Our lives have changed forever. The world has changed forever. I love the fact that at the end of the day, I don't know how, I imagine it's intentional. Maybe it's just by osmosis, subconscious or whatever. But like, I love the fact that his real life drive to just get better. People told him his art sucked, and he got rejected a bunch of times. He did not have a lot of money. He was, asking his mom for money for a pack of cigarettes. Like, he was living that life as an artist. But like, you know what? He got so excited every time he realized, like, oh, but this drawing's better than this previous drawing. And that was enough to keep his energy going. And I feel like if that's not the most Dragon Ball shit I have ever heard, just tuning out the rest of the world and what they think you're supposed to be, and just focusing on how can I get better, and being excited about getting better, and being excited about the challenge, which I'm glad we have this opportunity. I'm sad it's under these circumstances, but I'm glad we have the opportunity to talk about this on this channel, because that is the core of Hard Mode Selected. Hard Mode Selected is all about that kind of energy of just like, this is hard, and I'm not great at it right away, and it's not going to come easy, but you know what? I'm excited about the growth I'm seeing, and it's worth doing. And I just feel like the fact that Akira Toriyama had that spirit, that obviously paid off for him. If there's no better legacy to leave, like, there's that. And I'm very glad to have that in my life. I'm sure we'll talk about Dragon Ball again, because that's just, again, it's just in us. We'll never stop talking about his work. And I'm glad we had a chance to say a couple of words. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. Thank you. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
With that done, the only thing left is, if you want more Hard Mode Selected, please be sure to find us where you can find us. We're on multiple platforms. You can catch us on Spotify. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. Drado, can you find us on TikTok? I don't know.
You will. You will find us on TikTok. I will make sure of it.
Word. And you can, of course, also find us on Twitch. We will be doing both some live streams and also just broadcasting some gaming, and like, we get real silly when we play together, so it's going to be a great time. So we would love to have you there. Where can we find you, Drado? If people are just interested in you.
Well, you can find me everywhere, from YouTube to Instagram to TikTok, Twitch, just _Drado. That is JUST_DRADO everywhere. And I'm a variety streamer, so you'll see a lot of variety of content from me, as well as I try to stay up on TikTok and Instagram with some fun clips of games that I play.
Skip.
You can find me on Instagram at SkipperFen Official. You can find me on Twitch with twitch.tv/SkipperFen. You can find me on TikTok. Just search SkipperFen, which is, it sounds like FIN, but it's actually SKIPPERFEN. Just, Google your boy. I'm sure my links will pop up there. I need to have a link tree, honestly. But
man, who are you telling? Yeah, PHILSpecialMeter across all platforms that I care to be bothered with, which would be Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, Twitch. Yeah, I think that's it. And hard mode selected again is HRD Mode Selected. You can Google us and you can find us on those various platforms. Thank you for, again, lending us your ears, letting us be a part of your day. And we hope that no matter how hard life may be, that you just hit back harder. That's all.
Yeah, accept those challenges. They're only gonna, make you better as a person.
And never give up. That is the goal. Continue on.
See ya.
Save and exit.
Peace.